Welcome to God's own country, Kerala. This small Malayalam-speaking state in the southwest of India extends nearly 900 kilometers along the coast. Kerala is a long strip of land bordered by the Laccadive Sea on the west and by the Ghats Mountains on the east. It is covered by dense tropical forests. Along the coast, there's a series of lagoons and canals. Kerala has exceptional biodiversity. Its tropical climate is ideal for the cultivation of spices. Spices have ensured Kerala's fame and prosperity since the beginning of its history. With 35 million inhabitants, it's the most densely populated state in India. Hindus, Muslims, Christians and Buddhists live in peace, governed by a communist coalition in a parliament democratically elected in 1956. Kerala proudly claims a 100% literacy rate, a thriving economic growth, and a high standard of living. India is today the world's largest producer and consumer of spices. With 6 million tons grown a year, it provides 80% of world production. On the Spice Road, Kerala has been a major trading center for spices since the 3rd century BC, supplying the world with black pepper, cardamom, ginger, nutmeg, and cloves. I start my journey on a small beach of Calicut, on the very spot where Vasco de Gama landed on May 20th, 1498, on his own search for spices. Vasco de Gama's legend is still very much alive here, as the local people keep reminding me.
Vasco de Gama was the first European to come to Kerala. He was a Portuguese explorer who came by sea, a sailor. He put Calicut on the map. He played a very important role in the history of India and in the history of Kerala.
Only a few kilometers away, Calicut is my next stop, known since the Middle Ages as City of Spices. Kozhikode is the 2nd largest city in Kerala. It's an important commercial center for regional products, as well as those from the neighboring states of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. In the wholesale market, it's electric. There's an incessant traffic of trucks. It's the black pepper season, and it arrives by truckloads at the wholesalers in the city. The sound of the machines makes me want to take a closer look at pepper in its raw state. It's the most commonly used spice in the world.
Pepper comes mainly from Wayanad. It sometimes comes from elsewhere, but most of it comes from Wayanad, Malappuram and Calicut. It's sorted according to size, then exported. It arrives here dry and raw. We clean it to eliminate the dust. We sort it, and then we prepare it for delivery, mostly for the local market. We have to remove the stems and the leaves. Just look at all that dust. It's sorted according to different criteria, its origin and its size.
Deepachka, the owner of this warehouse, notices us and comes over to tell us a little more.
Our pepper comes from Wayanad. It's cleaned, sorted and packaged. Then it's sent to other places in India and sometimes even abroad. Our job is essentially to sort it according to 3 or 4 different official criteria. There are several different qualities of pepper, 4 or 5 different qualities. Black pepper is like black gold. It's very expensive and always has been. It can be conserved like gold, but only that from Kerala.
Before going to meet some pepper producers, I enjoy an evening in Calicut. It's a pleasant town with friendly people. This evening, there's a crowd on the beach for a charity event, a kite flying competition. On my way to Wayanad, I must stop at the Indian Institute for Spice Research. Some of the world's leading experts on spices are expecting me. Kozhikode is the hub of regional trade, but it's also the center of Indian biological and agronomic research, for spices, of course.
I'm Dr. Legia Thomas. I'm a researcher here in agricultural economy.
Here, all aspects of spices are studied by scientists and researchers to supply farmers with the best possible seeds.
Our objective
is to make India the worldwide reference for spices. That's what India once was, what it is now, and what it must continue to be.
As everybody knows,
As everyone knows, Vasco de Gama came to India, and since then India has been the land of spices. And Kerala is the land of pepper.
For pepper. All black pepper.
All black pepper, wherever it's grown, originally came from the region of Malabar.
Malabar region of West
It's the
Bengal.
endemic and natural habitat of black pepper.
Home of black pepper.
Originally, spices were known for 3 things. Firstly, for their antimicrobial properties.
Preserve meat.
They were used to preserve meat.
Second one is flavor.
Secondly, for their taste. And thirdly, and most importantly, for their medicinal
The most
properties.
important one of late is medicinal properties. So literally what I'm trying to say
What I'm trying to tell you is that spices hold the answers to the principal challenges that face the generations of the new millennium.
The new millennial generation.
Thank you.
When you talk about spices,
As far as spices are concerned, there's no distinction between the history of India and the history of the spice trade. They're closely intertwined.
Entwined together. The
The history of Kerala and even the history of the world, the geopolitical history of the world, was built on the search for spices.
For spices.
Man's obsession for spices goes back to the Egyptians. The pharaohs were avid for the rarest of them all, the fire vine, the king pepper. They used it to embalm their dead and to make perfumes and unguents. The Arabs who supplied Alexandria were the middlemen between the East and the West. They held a monopoly on this profitable trade for centuries. Rome was awash in colored powders. Legionnaires even took spice baths. The elite spent fortunes trying to make the 458 recipes described by Apicius, the Roman Epicurean and lover of foods and spices. And the Arab traders became richer and richer. By the end of the Middle Ages, 3/4 of these luxury recipes included spices in their delicacies: sweets, cakes, the famous spice bread, and drinks. Spice was a sign of social success. The richer you were, the spicier your food. Precious spices passed through the hands of dozens of middlemen, and their price increased 100-fold between Calicut and Venice. Pepper was traded at its weight in gold. Goods were often paid for in spices, a form of currency. I am truly on the mythical Black Pepper Road. The mountains in Wayanad, with their misty and fascinating landscapes, open their arms to me. But there's only one road into them, and it's windy and congested. It takes 4 hours to drive the 80 kilometers to the mountaintop, but that doesn't stop the Indians, locals, and tourists who flock here. Entire families come to enjoy the heights. On the roadside, families of monkeys calmly watch the constant flow of traffic. I've done it. I finally made it to the top. In front of me stretches the hilly district of Wayanad. This rural and still very traditional region is home to an exceptional biodiversity. Tropical forests, numerous lakes, waterfalls and rocky caves provide natural habitats for hundreds of plant and animal species, many of them endemic. Plantations of coconuts, coffee, tea and spices cover the verdant mountain slopes and intermingle in soothing tones of green. This is where I'm going to discover the famous black pepper at its source.
Hello, welcome to Wayanad and Balavaya. My name's Robin KK and I'm a farmer. I have 5 hectares of plantations in Wayanad. I grow pepper, but I also grow coffee, passion fruit, cloves, cinnamon, betel nuts and cardamom. I do coconuts too. But pepper is my main crop. It's the most important of all the spices. Follow me. I'll show you my plantation. Pepper is a vine. It grows on several different types of trees, such as the silver rock tree, the glycidia, the jackfruit tree, and the banyan. I have mainly silver rocks. That's a pepper vine. That's what we cut and plant to grow a new vine. After 2 years, the plant is almost 1.5 meters tall, and it's ready to flower. The vine begins to produce fruits as from the 3rd year. That's pepper. A pepper vine can produce fruit for almost 30 years. This one's 18 years old already. After 3 years, you get fruit. In January, you start harvesting the pepper. A 5-year-old vine gives about 1 kilo of dry pepper seed. At 10 years old, they can give up to 5 kilos of dry pepper per plant. But on average, it's more like 1 to 2 kilos a plant.
Wayanad, with its delightful setting, is one of the most popular destinations for middle-class Indians. Promoters of local tourism, aware of the need to protect this natural heritage, are banking on eco-responsible tourism. Surrounded by forests, Pokodi Lake, a small natural lake, is one of the region's most visited sites. As night falls, the verdant paradise of Kerala is taking on ochre hues of an almost unreal color. The largest concentration of wild elephants in the world lives in this 20,000-hectare forest. Suddenly, 2 of them do me the honor of appearing by the roadside, like a mirage. A last little goodbye. Today I'm leaving the pepper country and traveling further south, to an area where cardamom, ginger, nutmeg and turmeric are grown. The route was long, but I'm struck by the beauty of Munnar and the surrounding tea country. Looking at these misty hills, I can't resist the impulse to take a photo. Even a selfie. It's almost the national sport in Kerala. These tea plants were imported from China by the British East India Company when they took over the region in 1826 and launched the first intensive tea cultivation campaign in the area. The Munnar Hills are a palette of natural and vibrant colors. In India, nothing is ever wasted and everything is transformed. Tea that's unfit for drinking is used, like all spices, as a natural dye for textiles. This was the path chosen for Aranya Natural, a fair trade company, where I'm learning about the other, more unexpected side of spices, color.
Most of the raw material we use comes from Munnar.
We use waste from tea, eupatorium and eucalyptus leaves. Substances such as indigo, ruku leaves,
and
cashew and
Indian
pomegranate
madder,
seed.
And we are using the rind of the pomegranate. This is the
This is turmeric,
and this is the
and this is pomegranate
the rind of
seed.
the pomegranate. These two raw materials.
Both of them are used here
now
to
for
dye
coloring
fabric.
the fabric. The artisans, what they are
These
doing
two
is
materials
the
are
yellow color
used to make a
with
yellow
these
dye.
two raw material. So the turmeric is one
Turmeric
raw
is
material.
also used a
It
lot
is,
as a medicinal
used
plant.
As a, is a medicinal plant, and as well as
And
the
it gives a
turmeric
beautiful
is,
yellow
giving a
color.
yellow color. And it is a very
But
nice
it's not
yellow.
only used as a dye.
Turmeric is not only
Turmeric
used
is one
for
of the
coloring
main
the fabric,
spices
it
in
is the
Indian cuisine.
Main like spice for our Indian food. And by
using
this
turmeric,
in fact,
we give
are giving a
medicinal value to our
for the
fabrics.
What he is doing is
He's crushing
powdering
turmeric
the
into powder.
turmeric. We don't, want
We
to
don't
get
buy
the
powdered
as a
turmeric.
powder
It might contain
because
impurities.
sometimes adulteration will be there.
Presently, there are 35
now,
people
35
working
people are
here.
working for us.
Natural dyes
Because
aren't
natural
like
dye is
chemical
not like a
dyes.
chemical dye.
They
It is a
require a
laborious
slow process. You need a lot of
need
employees
lot of
and
people
time
and lot of
to achieve
time
the
to
colors
get
we
our
do.
colours.
Because we
In
make
the name of
natural dyes, we don't
dye,
want
we
to
don't
go
want to
against
disturb the
nature.
nature. wanted
We try to
maintain
protect the
So we are
ecosystem,
very conscious
to have a
about that.
responsible attitude.
this
And
Aranya
that's why
Natural project
our
is
Aranya
now
Natural
zero waste
project is a zero-waste project. I'm back on the road, on my way to a small town called Kumili, on the border of the state of Tamil Nadu and surrounded by the Cardamom Hills. They're named after one of the most common spices in Indian cooking and the third most expensive spice in the world after saffron and vanilla. Considered as the queen of spices, cardamom plays hard to get. I have to leave the beaten track to find her. Among his 50 employees, Parmaran is waiting to tell me more about this very famous spice.
This is a cardamom plant, and this stem is called a palm. The stem is called the panicle. And when the plant is mature at around 12 years old, the panicle flowers. From then on, we pick the fruit every 90 days. The bees first pollinate the flowers. It takes about 2 days for the plant to be fertilized. A small capsule forms, and this later becomes the cardamom pod. The fruit appears and grows into a green capsule. We plant a single stem. All the other stems sprout from around it. The plants in this parcel are 27 years old.
27 years old. 27 years old plant.
Here, the workers are weeding and cleaning up around each plant so that they can grow properly and bear fruit. It's a plant that needs a lot of water during the summer. Cardamom has to be watered. The pods are harvested in June and July. Here the cardamom is being sorted. The leaves and the dirt are removed. This is the waste.
All the dust must be removed so that we have a nice green color.
This cardamom is more than 8 millimeters. It's the best quality that there is. The cardamom is sorted by size and color in order to determine its quality. In India, cardamom is one of the most commonly used spices. It's used in cooking and for medical reasons.
கன்சம்ஷன் கூடிட்டு இருக்கு. இது காடமம் மெடிசனுக்கும் நிறைய பயன்படுது.
சும்மா காடமம் அந்த
To make a cardamom tea,
அது பொடி பண்ணி
you just pour hot water and boiling milk over the tea leaves and the cardamom seeds,
மில்க்
and you let it infuse.
போட்டுட்டு கொஞ்சம் காடமம் லேசாக போட்டுக்கிட்டா போதும்.
Queen of spices ங்கிறது எனக்கு
Cardamom is called the queen of spices because it's said to be very feminine.
பெண் குழந்தை
And like young girls, cardamom reaches maturity around 12 or 13 years old.
இதில் காடமம்ல கிரேட் பண்றது.
Cardamom is now sold in auction centers.
இப்போ ஆக்ஷன் சென்டர்ஸ் இருக்கு.
Everything is overseen by the government under the auspices of the Spice Board.
ஆக்ஷன் நடத்துறதுக்கு லைசென்ஸ் கொடுக்குறாங்க.
I'm a cardamom buyer, and Kerala is a large producer of cardamom. When we want to buy cardamom, we come to an auction like this one here. It's very difficult to buy cardamom directly from the producers. The cardamom producers prefer to sell their harvest to an auction centre like this one. All the producers in the region are registered here. Different qualities of cardamom are sold, from the very best to the lowest quality. This year, the price of cardamom has exploded. I've never seen anything like it. The price of cardamom has gone up to 3,000 rupees a kilo, about 40 euros. All the buyers have computers on which each auctioned lot of cardamom appears. The floor price is often 2,500 rupees, about 31 euros. Each buyer pays 200 rupees to bid. That's why the price of certain lots can skyrocket. But if there's no demand, then it doesn't go up. It's just supply and demand. They give us a sample of each lot. Then the lot is auctioned. We get more samples and so on. It never seems to stop. Today there are 281 lots being auctioned here. Anyone can recognize good cardamom. It should look good and have no imperfections. This movement lets you estimate the weight of the cardamom. The heavier the pod, the more seeds it has inside. That's how we see how much it weighs. With this simple routine, we can quickly judge if the cardamom is good or not. Some cardamom can be large but have very few seeds inside. What I'm interested in is the seeds inside the pod. We extract essential oils from the seeds.
Cardamom is rich in calcium and is sought for its antiseptic properties. It helps digestion and is supposedly an excellent aphrodisiac. Ever since the beginning of my quest, each of my interlocutors has stressed the therapeutic properties of spices. So to learn more about the local Ayurvedic medicine, I decided to go to Alappuzha by bus at the slow rhythm of the landscape that drifts by between numerous stops. Now for a change of scenery. I've arrived on the endless beaches of the Malabar coast. Influenced by European and Indian cultures, Alappuzha contains a wealth of treasures. This city, also called the Venice of the East, contains a veritable network of canals that are more or less well maintained. Nearby, Dr. Gopika Aji enlightens me on the importance of spices and Ayurvedic medicine. Ayurveda is recognized universally as the oldest form of medicine in the world. It's existed for at least 2,000 years. This very ancient form of medicine has been melded with new technologies and current science. And it's very important to continue to practice and develop this ancestral medicine. For us, everything that grows on this planet can be used as a medicine. And spices play a particularly important role in it. And the most commonly used spices are pepper, ginger, nutmeg, cardamom, turmeric, and cloves. They're found in almost all Ayurvedic medicines. Most of the medicines are based on the therapeutic properties of spices. Alappuzha is also the gateway to the Backwaters. This is a 1,500-kilometer-long network of canals, rivers, lakes, inlets, and brackish lagoons that facilitates the transportation of merchandise from the rural provinces to the major port of Cochin. Traditionally, the spices were loaded on boats called ketuvalam. Today, these crafts are mainly used as luxurious floating houseboats. I take a cruise on the Backwaters. Aboard this time-honored craft, I enjoy a traditional meal that the chef is proud to have me taste.
This is the famous fish that we catch in the lake. Traditionally, we cook it wrapped in banana leaves. First, fry a masala of spices in some coconut oil with shallots, red chili, some turmeric and a paste of cashews, tomatoes, and onions. Now mix it all into a paste. Next, put the paste on the raw fish and fold it up in a banana leaf. The spices add a good flavor to the fish. We always add some turmeric for the taste and for the antiseptic properties. The onion, the nutmeg, and the ginger are for the taste. And the coconut oil enhances all the aromas. In 10 minutes, it's ready. When you cook spices in coconut milk, it creates an incredible harmony of flavors. That's the taste of Kerala.
We have followed the spice road from the first footsteps of Vasco de Gama on the beaches of Kapad to the merchants of Calicut, from the borderlands of Wayanad to the tea plantations of Munnar, and from the Cardamom hills of Kumali to the backwaters of the Malabar coast. And here our travels end, in Cochin, the ultimate stage of our journey. But first we have to cross several bridges and monstrous traffic jams to reach the largest city in Kerala, built on several interconnected islands. Offshore, facing the Arabian Sea, is the Mantacherry Peninsula, known as Fort Cochin. On the mainland, the Ernakulam Quarter is home to many spice wholesalers. Between them is Wellington Island, an artificial island built in the 1930s with the sediment dredged from the bay. I decide to explore the city on a traditional rickshaw, by far the most efficient way to get around. The history of Kochi is a melting pot, where every civilization that has ever dealt in spices has left its trace. There are traces of Arabs, Jews, and Chinese merchants. The city prospered during the Middle Ages, then it passed under the domination of the Portuguese, the Dutch, and finally the British. After independence, Kochi remained the center of the Indian spice trade, and the headquarters of the Spices Board is located here. The Kochi Spice Market is centered around Jew Street. Here, lured by the odor emitted from a doorway, it's not rare to find a crop of ginger drying in the sun.
My business.
Ginger's my business, but I also sell pepper, cloves and nutmegs.
The aromas of cloves, cardamom, turmeric, and pepper exude from hundreds of tightly packed shops. Surprisingly, the shops are run exclusively by women, for only they possess the secret of blending a masala, a special mixture of spices used for cooking.
This is a
You're in the
women's
spice
cooperative
market.
society,
It's a woman's
and the name of
cooperative.
it is Spice Market, and we are 36 women
36
working
women
here,
work here,
and 600 families
and
in our
600
villages.
families work in our
Only
village.
women because
Only
actually
women
in
here.
olden days time, only men
Before it
used
was
to go
only
for the
men,
works and
but
all.
times
now
have
it has been
changed.
completely changed. That you can,
Now we
that
know
you
that
can
women
feel
can
that even
also
women
achieve
can do
things
anything
if they work hard at it.
So
That's why we started this project.
All these masalas
All our
same,
masalas
only
are
the
made with the
proportion
same
is different.
ingredients, but the
Because for
proportions
each
are different.
proportion, like for
For tandoori or chicken masala,
it's a
we use the
different
same
proportions in that,
spices but
the
in
masalas
different
are same,
proportions.
only when we
The
do it,
mixtures are
we make
different.
it in a different way. Actually,
I learned how to cook from my mother, and now I'm teaching my own daughters. It's a family secret that only women can transmit. Only they know how to cook. To learn the secret of making a traditional masala, I visit Shanti, a grandmother who has accepted to open the doors of her kitchen for us. You start with coriander seeds. This is what we do for all powdered masalas. Next, black pepper, bay leaf, cinnamon,
സാജീരകം,
cumin seeds,
കറിയാമ്പൂ,
cloves,
പെരിഞ്ജീരകം,
fennel seeds,
ഏലക്ക,
and cardamom.
ചൂടാക്കാൻ.
Then you get it nice and hot.
ചൂടാക്കിയിട്ട് വറക്കണം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പൊടി.
If it's not hot enough, you can't grind it properly.
മല്ലിമുളക് ഒക്കെ കൂട്ടുമല്ലോ.
That's my masala. I grind my own spices. It's very important. Some people buy them already powdered from shops, but I can assure you that my masala is better.
മസാല പൊടിച്ചതല്ലേ അവന്.
Her masala is used in her son's restaurant, and he's known to make the best biryani in town. It's the emblematic dish of the Kerala region.
അങ്ങനെ തുറന്നു.
In the kitchen, the men are at work. I make myself as inconspicuous as possible to observe the preparation of this spicy dish. Biryani is one of the major dishes of traditional Indian cuisine. It's a mixed fried rice dish. It has a masala base into which are added coconut, pineapple, vegetables, aromatic herbs, peanuts, and marinated chicken. The ambiance is soft and romantic on the beach walkway. Family groups, many vacationers have come here to enjoy the coolness of the shore. Chinese fishing nets, vestiges of times gone by, are now a tourist attraction. Just across the bay, the enormous cranes in the port of Cochin, the largest in India, work day and night. The era of Vasco de Gama is long gone. Now giant cargo ships with holds full sail towards Africa, Asia, and Europe. I am lulled by the peaceful tranquility of Fort Cochin. Tomorrow, there's a surprise in store for me to terminate my journey along the Spice Road, and it promises to be colorful. 100 kilometers north of Kochi, day breaks over Thrissur, the cultural and religious capital of Kerala. This is the third and last day of the Thrissur Puram, a large annual Hindu festival. Every temple in town participates. A procession of elephants, decorated with golden headdresses, serve as a vehicle for the deities. It's the only time they leave the temple enclosures. Accompanied by an orchestra of percussionists and hundreds and thousands of worshippers, the elephants head towards the temple dedicated to Shiva in the center of town. Along the way, many people leave offerings for the holy elephants, and the ambiance intensifies as the procession progresses. This is our last stage in this astonishing, generous, and spicy country, India, that never fails to captivate us.